Hi everybody, welcome back to Creative Companions. I'm Kim, coming to you live from my home in the attic. Let me know if you're here and if you can hear me. I seem to be having a lot of difficulties with this live video feed today. Looking for joy and things that bring us joy. We're going to be talking about our artist self, our artist child self, and how we're treating them these days. We're going to do a guided painting together, so bring your paint supplies, and if you don't have paint supplies, markers work great as well. I'm doing the best I can to show up for you and me today, and I'm really having challenges here. Let me try something else. Oh, maybe if I just sit it there. I think you can see me okay. So I did apply for another grant to get some better equipment for doing these live feeds that would make it easier for me. Because, whew, I'm sweaty already. That was a challenge just getting here. If you're here, let me know. It might be a challenge for you to get here too. I realize it's Mother's Day and that's a hard day. Either there's a lot to do or nothing to do, or lots of feels to have about it. I just saw a couple people's posts about the hard times, so we're not going to talk about that much. Creative Companions, we're always talking about how we are, I just picked up a heart rock, addressing ourselves and how we're treating ourselves, and the fact that our artist self is a child that just wants to play is what we're going to be talking about today. And thank you for showing up to play. We're going to need all the colors, a paint palette. Man, I'm scattered. I have things just thrown about here and just sat down in my spot. I'm going to give you plenty of time to gather your things. I don't know why I can't see the clock on my phone right now, or if I have any viewers. Yeah, I miss you, Katie May, if you're watching. Katie May is my co-facilitator of Creative Companions. If you've been with us before, you know that we've been a group recovering through art for over 13 years, sometimes online, sometimes in person. Whatever happens, happens. We just show up. Lately, in the last few years, it's been here Sundays at 11. Most recently, I had a show at a gallery here in Columbus, Ohio, and we were able to do a couple live feeds from there. You can watch all the live feeds. I don't know, I'm not real organized. I have a YouTube channel, Art by Kim Keffer. They eventually end up on there when I can figure out how to do it. With a little help from my friends, we get it done. So you're going to need a piece of cardboard. We paint on cardboard in Creative Companions because, well, there's too much cardboard in the world. So we can, instead of putting it in the landfill, we can reuse it and make it into something beautiful. So I have about a 5x7 piece of cardboard here today. Also, when we participate in a group or show up to do our art, sometimes we put way too much pressure on ourselves to think that we have to do it really, really good. So if we're not painting on a nice, fresh piece of canvas, that takes the pressure away a little bit, gives us more freedom to just play on a piece of cardboard. So yeah, grab your cardboard, grab all the different colors of paint and water, whatever you need to feel comfortable in your space here for a little while. And I will misguide you through a painting together. In the concept of how we are nurturing our artist self, our child self, I picked out this little marker meditation to show you as an example of what we might create today. So it will be ourself with our child self. Now, my little child self down there at the bottom, you see, was a little feisty that day. So we'll be thinking about that too. You know, strong mama character, holding the hand of, supporting, leading along the little child self that just wants to express itself and play. So we're going to express ourselves on the canvas. Let's start with, well, I don't want to start yet. Slow down. To help slow down, Creative Companions, we always start with a meditation and some deep breaths. So let's do that now. Let's just take 3 deep breaths together in through our nose. And close your eyes if you want. Just relaxing into the here and now. I hear birds outside. Maybe you could comment and tell me what you hear near and far away from you. Noticing as you continue to take 3 deep breaths. And then perhaps 3 more. And just noticing the sounds that you hear around you. It's quiet where I am. I'm thankful for that. And I hear birds. And that is all. What if I did that? I'm going to write a comment just so I can see if I can see the comments. Okay, I can see the comments. So, it appears I'm talking to myself, which is always the case, or a lot of the times. We talk to ourselves more than we talk to others, so we're learning to be careful with what we say and make sure that we're saying nice things to ourselves. Or about ourselves, like maybe you gossip about yourself. Let's not do that. So good things. I got flowers this week. That's nice. So I'm just going to talk for a minute before we continue with meditating about the Artist's Way, which is our guide for Creative Companions. And one of the tools that we use is journaling. And journaling can really help you with that self-talk process, because there you are exclusively talking to yourself. So let me see, Julia Cameron suggests 3 pages of brain drain every morning, and I've been doing that for a really long time, and that's a good practice. This is another good practice, showing up for Creative Companions once a week, and to just get your week kicked off right. For me, it's another level of commitment and to my artist self and who I say I am and what I want to do. So let's take some more deep breaths, huh? Hi, somebody's here. Let me know who you are. I'm glad you're here. Welcome. We're just breathing to come to the now and ground ourselves to this present moment and just be here now. We're just taking deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, stilling the self, being still, quieting, listening to the sounds around us. Good morning, Donna. I'm glad you're here. Had some technical difficulties today. Does everything look and sound okay on from your end? We're just starting to check in with the breath, making it longer, slowing down, coming to the present moment. I'm going to be addressing our child creative self today, doing a guided painting. Okay. Did you find this on Creative Companions page or on my personal page, Donna? Because things have changed a little bit, it seems, from my end on how I do live feeds on Facebook. So I'm just trying things and seeing what works here. I don't have anybody here with me in my physical presence with a phone or a contraption to... I guess I could get on my computer. That's okay. And see if I can watch it from there. That might be possible. So just keep breathing in and out. We're going to need our acrylic paint supplies. As you gather those things, work on... Thanks, Susan. All right, I'm going to just trust that it's all working properly and put my other contraption away. We're going to do an acrylic painting today. You need all the colors, a cardboard, whatever size you have to paint on. If you don't have acrylic paints, markers work good too. Watercolors are fine. Whatever works for you. I just hope you'll create something with me today. And we're breathing in and out. Let's do another together. We meditate to come to the here and now, to slow down. I'm closing my eyes here for a few minutes and invite you to too. You too. Breathing in and out, we're just coming into the present and being aware of ourselves in the now. Relax. For this meditation and this practice and this gathering and this creative process that we're doing together today, I'm just going to ask you to remain in that meditative, calm state with yourself and just keep the breathing going in long, deep, conscious breaths as we create together. Without much clue of what we're going to do. We're going to make something beautiful, me and you. So I'd like us to start with yellow and white. So let's put some yellow and white paint on our palette. I didn't say water, but you do need water for your brushes and maybe a paper towel. I made a new paint smock for myself yesterday, as it is my habit to wipe my brushes on my shirt. So my friend Sean gave me a big shirt and I made it into this blue. Oh, did you all hear that? You gotta have fun with it all. Remembering that your artist is a child that likes to play. Deep breaths. We're gonna grab a big brush. I'm gonna grab the biggest brush I have right there. You know, and part of the point here, and that brush is all crusty, I'm just gonna play with it a minute, is that we make our artist self wait so often to do the creative thing that we want to do because we think we need all the right things and we don't have all the right things. My phone that I'm using to do this live feed today is propped up on a lawn chair in a cardboard box with a paintball behind it to hold it up because I don't have the things. So if you don't have a big paintbrush but you have paint, you could use paper towels to move the paint around, because what we're going to do here is just create a background first with the yellow. And I like to let some of the cardboard show through, and it makes a nice warm tone, and maybe then keeps the idea that this is cardboard. So I'm going to just, let's just do a yellow circle, and look how sloppy I did. Okay, we're just doing, now you can make a perfect circle by smashing your brush and spinning it. Look at that. River really likes to do it that way. Look, it makes a nice swirl too. I'm going to continue to go around that. And as I go around, the paint on my brush is getting less. And I just put a little yellow and a little white on that brush together. And as I go around, the paint on my brush is getting less. So it's making it feathery like that. I'm just going to turn this so I can see it. And you take your time there. I hope everybody's having a good week. Had a good week. Is expecting a good week. Doing things out of your box. I've been doing things out of my comfort zone, and it's challenging and interesting. So that's all we want to do right now. Perhaps I'm going to take a little more yellow to make that a little more yellow, and I'm going to do like outward from my sun. And see how the cardboard also makes that texture just automatically. I like that about painting on cardboard too. So I'm just doing some outward rays from my sun. I did not put that brush in water at all. Kept it kind of dry. So what we have there is just a nice sun. Mine has a funky, weird bump there at the bottom. See? You can paint over anything, you know. So I'm just going to make that a little more rounded there. I didn't like that bump it had. I like what that yellow did. You know, and the painting is creating itself as we go along, just like you are creating yourself as you go along. And thinking about the character you are and how the conversation came up a couple weeks ago in Creative Companions. How am I taking care of myself? Because, you know, treating myself as a precious object makes it so. So, are you doing that? Are you honoring yourself and your creative process? Whatever that is. Take some deep breaths. We're going to just let that dry a second. I'm going to take a swig of my coffee here. Okay. Just simply being here now. I have a light pink rose color here, which makes a nice skin tone. I'm going to put a dot of that on my palette. So whatever colors that you have there that you think might make your skin tone, we're going to do a version of ourselves right now. So I'm going to use also this yellow oxide. It's like a brownish yellow that I like to mix a tiny bit of with the pink for the skin tone sometimes. You could just use white. You could use any tones of brown mixed with your flesh tone. Like if you buy the paint that says flesh tone, it's usually kind of pinkish. So you might have to mix that with other tones to make your own skin tone. So yeah, I'm going to grab another brush. And I have my favorites right here. So I wonder if y'all have been writing in your journals or what you've been doing creatively lately. If you could comment at some point when your hand stops moving on your canvas for a second. Hopefully you have some kind of sun there. So if you just got here, we just created a yellow background to work on. And I'm going to mix that flesh tone pink with some white and then a little of that yellow oxide or whatever it said to make a skin tone for myself. Now don't get scared. You know, when what does Vern say? Can you paint curved lines and straight lines? I think you can. So nothing's harder than anything else. So you might get scared that I'm asking you to paint a person. And people think, oh, people are hard to do. You know the size and shape of you. So that's what we're going to do first. We kind of do like a stick figure, the size and shape of ourselves. And you want to leave room because we're going to put our little child self next to him. So do her a little off center here. And I'm going to start with my head first over this yellow sun. And I'm going to make a shape that looks like, let's see, a circle with a little point at the bottom for a chin. If you follow. Do you see that shape? It's really random. Okay, you can make an oval. An oval's fine to start with for your head. And then go from there. Give yourself a little neck. And I want to make my arm so it's reaching down, placing my hand on top of the child self's head. So I'm going to imagine that, and then I'm just going to indicate an arm with a hand. You see? If you will, myself standing with a hand. So it helps me to do the pose, or imagine the pose, or even have someone else do the pose that I want to paint. So the next question is, what is that other hand doing? I'm going to have it reaching up. So it comes off the neck to the shoulder first, and then goes up. And I don't know what the hand's going to be doing. We're not worried about that yet. Okay, so we got one arm up, one arm down. Now, you could draw a center line for the spine. Let's do that to just make it easy. So draw a center line for your spine. And then think about your size and shape. How big are your boobs? How big is your belly? Are you really just a little stick? You know the size and shape of you. So do one side. Look. Boobs, belly, butt, leg, foot. And then you're going to mirror that on the other side. So boobs. Now, if you're a dude, you know if you are wide at the top and go down, or if you're just a stick, you know the size and shape of yourself right now. We're thinking about ourselves right now, in this moment. And total acceptance of who we are. That's part of it. However we are showing up. Okay? Made my legs kind of thick, didn't I? Now you can fill that in. Just loosely. So there you have it. This is a meat suit me. With no features yet. Just the size and shape. Look, that one leg looks a little short, doesn't it? No West Virginia jokes, y'all. It's the Appalachia in me. One leg is shorter than the other. What are you talking about? Okay. With that foot. There we go. You know, and I see some things, oh, well, that looks a little funny, but I'll come back to it. I'm glad to make you laugh, Susan. All right, so that's that person. So what we're talking about and thinking about is our little child self. And let's make our little child self. So I put that hand in a position so that it can go right on little child self's head. Right? So I'm going to make child self a little pinker and just mix up some of that pink and white together. Leave the yellow out so our skin tones are a little bit different. Okay? And we'll just start with making a little round head, because for an adult, doing an oval works good. For a child, especially this is a little child, a circle works better. And then you can put like a little blip at the bottom of the circle to indicate the chin. See that shape? More circular than the adult's head. So then what is the child self's little arms doing? I just had the thought, well, it's wrapping around mama's leg. It's a little Klingon baby. It needs its mommy. So she's reaching over here. I just indicate, look, real quick. You get it, right? It looks like that. Then we'll give her I didn't give her a neck because babies have really short little necks. And you can just do a head and the arms. Where's her other arm going to be going? I think just flying out to the side here. Maybe she... Oh, look, it turned into a little hand all by itself. Miracles happen when you show up for your creative process and just do the thing, guys. It's the only way they can. Right? Okay, so then give her a little torso, which is much shorter than her mama's, because she's just a little chubby thing, look. And then little legs. And it's fun, like, little baby legs are like a bloop for the thigh, and then a bloop for the calf, you know? See? So they look chubbier. I'm not going to give her feet quite yet. Let's just give her two little legs here. And you see, we're just indicating the thing. No way are we trying to perfect anything. We're just making the sizes and the shapes of ourself and our little child self. Now, your little child self might have her hands in the air. Your little child self might be hugging herself. She might be standing stick straight with her legs together. I keep saying her. I should... Excuse me. I don't mean to offend anyone ever. They. I. There. Little person. Little tiny person. Alright? There's a little tiny person with the mama. Now, let's put that brush in the water. Take a few deep breaths. And I'm going to give you a minute. Maybe I'll hold this up to the camera so you can look at it while you make yours. I'm really glad y'all are here with me. Stick with it. This is going to be a really cool one when we're done. I'm just going to hold that there. Take some deep breaths. We don't need to be nervous. We're just going to have fun. The creative process is really, really fun. We started with a blank cardboard a few minutes ago. And we don't know what it's going to turn into. It's starting to be something. Look at that. Okay. So let's add some other colors to our palette. I'm going to show you our little guide person. My little marker sketch with her little person. So we're going to start adding details to the mama first. And as you see, she's got all the colors in her face there. You know? So red and yellow and pink and green, purple and orange and blue. I can sing a rainbow. So put all the colors on your palette now. We already have yellow. So let's get some blue and some green and some orange, some red, just a little dot. Acrylic paint goes a long way. You don't need much paint at all. Just a little dab. Take some deep breaths. Just let that painting sit for a minute while you load your palette. You know, typically I read you some quotes out of The Artist Way as we create together, and I left my book somewhere, so I don't have it right here with me now. I'm glad you're here with me now. Red, yellow, pink, green, purple. Oh yes, let's get some purple too. Red and blue mixed together make purple, so if you don't have any purple, you can create some. So our artist self is a child that just wants to play. And it gets really fussy if we don't let it play. Can you think of yourself that way? You know, when I'm really crabby and, well, my artist self might need attention. Maybe I need to write a song or sing a song or make a painting or express myself. Katie May said, depression is the lack of expression. So when you're feeling the blues and you feel like, oh, I'm not even going to create now. I'm not going to do my practice that I love to do so much, painting, whatever. We're learning to do that through the darkness. And then what you create from the darkness is essential and useful to yourself and others. That which I do, which is good for me, is good for all. So if we can think of our creative practice as something that I do that is really good for me because it's nourishing me, maybe we won't feel so selfish or guilty about taking the time to practice our practice. So I'm going to grab a smaller brush now. I don't know if y'all bother feeling bad about stuff. I hope not. I do sometimes, and, you know, this is part of me learning not to. And that which I do, which is good for me, is good for all. I'm going to grab a small brush here. See that? Really little, kind of pointy. It's not focusing on it. It's focusing on my face. Anyway, a little pointy brush if you have one. And we're going to start with the mama self. Okay? And let's start with the face. And some white paint now. Well, no. I take that back. Let's do the shadows first. So, I don't want my shadows to be real dark now. I'm going to use that yellow oxide with some white and some pink again. But mix it darker than I did my skin tone the first time. And what I'm going to do is use it to make eye sockets. Should be darker. That's all I'm going to do right now. So that's where the eyes are going to go. All right. I didn't put any brown on my palette. If you have brown, a little brown would be nice. If you don't, black, or you can use purple. I'm going to put the eyebrows on next. So those little shapes we made were the eye socket. An oval, like teardrop kind of shape there. Now we're going to put an eyebrow over that with this darker brown. And that will go, I'm going to make them go bloop and bloop. You see? Those are the eyebrows. I'm going to make a V shape to indicate the nose right now. Oh, that looks kind of weird. I know. It'll get better. Don't worry. Okay. That's the nose. Let's take that brown. We're going to have her, let's have her looking down. Because she's going to be looking at that child self. So first we're going to do right under the eyebrows. That's going to indicate the bottom lid of her eye. And then I want her to be looking at, this is going to look weird for a second. And you got to realize that in your creative process, your creations would go through this weird phase to get there. Look. So I just gave her eyeballs there that she's going to be looking down. Like she's looking to the side and down at that child self. Now I'm going to put that top lid on. I'll show you. I want it to kind of cut into that dot I made for the eye so it further looks like she's looking down. And you might have her looking straight ahead. You might have her with her eyes closed. I'm going to take a little white now on the same brush. I'm going to clean it off my shirt because I don't want to get it wet right now. I'm going to take some white to add the whites to her eyes. And I've shown you before with a pointing brush that you put it on here and roll it on your palette and then pull it away so it just has a little bit of paint on it that comes to a point so you can do really detail work. And I'm just going to put a little white in her eyes there. To the side of her pupil. I don't know. And remember, if you do something you don't like, you could paint over it later. You could paint over it right now. But I just gave her some whites to her eyes there. And I'm going to use the white again now to make her nose. So I'm going to go where I put that V. It's so hard to show you. I'm so technologically challenged. Oh, it's okay. Okay, so I'm just going in the middle of that V with the white and up between her eyes to make the nose. And then I like to give the forehead shape and also to indicate the connection, a third eye. I like to make a white circle. The middle of it hits that nose line and it extends out to just touch the eyebrows. I also like to take that white now and go right above the eyebrow, which I went a little, see? Let's take the white with some pink now and give her some cheeks. Okay, so under her eye, we make that same line in the shape of her eye. That's too light. I need to get more pink on there. What I'm trying to do, I'll show you. You know, in your painting, you're just making it up as you go along. I'll show you the shape I'm making here in just a second. It's kind of a V shape to indicate the cheek. You can't see that well enough, so I'm going to make it darker. I'm going to outline it darker because it's kind of a highlight under the eye. Let's outline it so you can see, though. Subtle. You see it? So the first line goes the same shape as the eye, right under the eye. And then it, a V. a rounded V, if you will, to indicate a cheek. I'm going to add a little more white again for my skin tone here and give her ears. Just a second. So ears, your ears line up exactly with your eyes. That's why we can wear glasses. Because the stem sits right on the ear. So the ear is right across from the eye. So let's, and you can just, from this angle, an ear's just a little line like that. You could give yourself pointy ears if you want. For now, I'm just going to subtly put some ears there. Okay. Let's go ahead and give her a mouth. I'm going to go red. And again, spinning the paint on the brush to get that little tiny point to work with. And first I'm going to imagine that she's smiling really big as she's looking at her little child self there. So we're going to make the top lip first by just making a big smile. See? That's the top lip. Just that shape. And then the bottom lip, we can start at the corner, connect it to the top. And it's an oval. Goes across and down and connects to the other side. See? Now you could go to the middle of that top line to give like the bump of the top lip. So right under the nose, kind of mirroring that shape, you can go. You see, I put two bumps together on that top lip. I'm going to also widen that bottom lip a little bit because she's really happy. Now, always in the corners of a mouth, it goes really dark, so grab some black or brown or purple. And in that line where the red line came together, just make a little dot of black there. Some emphasis on that. I'm clean my brush real good because I want to do some more with white now. So I'm going to clean that off in the water and then wipe it off on my shirt. And I just got some white on my brush to a nice fine point. And I'm going to try not to touch that top lip and just make a line for the teeth on the top. See? I'm going to leave that mouth alone for a minute now. Oh, while I have this white, before I clean it off, eyes have little catch lights in them where they're reflecting the light. So I just put the tiniest dot in each of her eyes, which really brings the character to life when you do that. Okay? Now the shape of her face isn't perfect yet, but we'll perfect that. Let's give her some hair. So you know the color and style of your hair. Mix up some color. Let's use that same little tiny brush. Maybe make the darkest tone of your hair first. So I'm going to go with this dark brown. And my hair parts to the side usually. And comes across and goes behind my ear. And you can make it kind of, you know, a little bit messy up there. Some little spikes sticking up. See? And mine comes down on my right side, which would, you know, when I paint, I think I usually put my braid on the wrong side in my paintings. It's okay. But let's do it this way. So it's going to come down over here. And go behind. No, let's go in front of me. All the way down. So just put your hair on there. Use the shadow color first, the darkest color, and then we'll go back and add highlights to that later. I also am using this brown tone to kind of, actually I don't like that I did that. Let's go back with the yellow. Just a second, I'll show you what I did. Okay, so I put my braid there. You see? Okay. So, since you just did a face, I'm going to clean my brush a minute because I'm going to use some white to give her a chin. She doesn't have a chin. So the chin is like a white highlight too, because the highlights on a face hit where the highest spots are. The forehead, the nose, the chin. The chin's usually, see, an oval right there under the lip. So let's make a white oval right there under the... Oh, mine went really good. Perfect. See? Now she has a chin. You can use that highlight, too, to just outline the outer edge of her face, connect the cheeks to that chin. See? I connected the cheeks to the chin with the white. You might also take that white. My whites in my eyes aren't white enough, so I'm just going to go back and do that again. Where I had put the whites in my eyes. Just a little more white there. It's looking good. And maybe you use the white then to outline that line of your neck. I'm going to put a little darker line right under my white oval of the chin. And usually that neck shadow comes into a V. So I just made that neck shadow with the darker yellow. Look at that, how it's coming to life. And now that I have the this yellow oxide color, I'm going to use that as some highlights in my hair. And just go over that dark color here and there, just a little bloop, 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 to just add a little highlights. There we go. Look at that. See? So let's give a face to our child self next. I'm going to clean my brush and move my legs because my legs are going to sleep. Take some deep breaths. I'll take a minute there to go ahead and I'll hold mine there so you can see it. Oh, let's get her nice and close. There you go. Eyes, nose, ears. Chinny chin chin. It's funny, these are things I say to Aiden. So treating myself as a precious object makes it so treating myself, child self, my artist self, as significant, as someone that wants to express themselves, seeing them as a lovely little character. So, being that this is your child self that you're creating here next, we want to use the same colors and skin tone and hair as we used on the adult self. A baby's face, more so than ours, is really squished to that bottom third of the head. So I'm going to start, I have these big brown eyes, so I'm going to start with just, and really round, big eyes on this baby head. I'll show you. It's not halfway down. It's 2/3 of the way down the baby head are the eyes. And they look kind of big on the baby head. See? And babies don't have much lines or anything in their little faces. So let's, I have my little pink skin tone. So I'm going to use white then now as the highlight and just give a little button nose. This can just be a dot right now. Look at that. Look at it, Laurie. Look, it's so cute. And then also a dot for each cheek, just a little bigger than the nose dot you made. How cute. And then let's put the third eye dot really big on this one. This kid is so connected. Might be the smartest kid in the world, right? You notice I didn't put any eyebrows yet. Look, we just got those white highlights. So far we've made 1, 2, 3 dots, 4 dots. Cheeks, little button nose, and the third eye. Let's make a little tiny oval dot for the chin. Really small sideways oval, I guess. I'm going to make a little line for the ears with the white. Look, how cute is that? While we have this white on the brush, let's make a really skinny brush. Like spin, spin, spin that. Just get the tiniest bit of paint on the tippy, teeny, tiny point of that brush to make the whites of the baby's eyes on either side of that dot. Just a dot. I mean a little dot. And then a teeny tiny dot for the catch light. I'll show you in a second. We're just making little dots now. Look. She still doesn't have a mouth. You see? It's hard to see. There we go. Okay. And the mouth, let's use pink instead of red. Oh, that's going to have to be darker than the flesh tone, though. So I'm going to add a little red to the pink flesh tone to make the mouth. And instead of making a line for the smile, oh, let's go ahead and make a line first. Oh, it's so cute. Look. Can you see it at all? I made the tiniest little line there for its mouth. I don't think you can see it from there, so I'm going to make it a little bigger, which makes its smile bigger. Let's outline those cheeks with the same red. So I'm just going around those white cheek circles with the same red or pink, dark pink that I use for the mouth, just to accentuate that baby's features. See? And I'm going to use the same hair color, but add some white to it that I use for the mama. And just give this baby some crazy hair. Now, I was more of a redhead as a child, so we're going to add some orange. I'm just making some messy hair on this child. Maybe add some yellow to it too. We can add some of those colors to mom's hair too. You know, and when you're doing a painting, people say, how do you know what to do next? Whatever I know right now, you know. If I don't know what to do about her clothes, well, I'm not worrying about her clothes yet. Maybe she's not having any. Maybe she is. I don't know. So I just made a lot of messy hair on this kid. On my little child self. She likes her long, messy hair. You can make her hair as pretty, as fancy as you want. Maybe her hair is in pigtails. Pigtails are cute. That would be cute. Make her as cute as you want there. Just messing up her hair. Let's put it all over her ears and everything. And oh yeah, it's looking good. I'm going to go back up to mom here and give her a little red to her hair too. Because the younger me had more red. Maybe I'd give her a little gray streak. Proud of that gray hair. And it's fun to use the little brush and just sit and, you know, or markers. Do this with markers. So here's what I got going on. I don't like that. See, I put that white at the top of my mama's head there. That looks weird. I'm going to go back over it with dark. So you can go back and forth. You know, if you made it too light, then go over it with a darker color. If you made a line too fat, go over it with the color that's under it, the background, you know. There we go. Took that dark. You know, the hairline is going to be darkest where it touches the scalp. And then your hair gets lighter or grayer. Look how gray as it goes. Next, let's go back to that mouth on the mama. We put the teeth there. Under the teeth, when we're styling, it goes dark. So we're just going to make a dark line with the black or brown. I'm using brown because I didn't bother getting any black out. Just right under her teeth, I just did a dark line to more accentuate. And I see she needs a top lid on one of her eyes. Take your time. I know I might be going kind of fast. You could work on this painting all day. You could work on it today some and again tomorrow. I'm putting some laugh lines on her now, like at the corners of the eyes where they go towards the ear. I like to put like a little V. You know, girls do that with their makeup. So you could imagine her with your how do you wear your makeup? What colors would you have on your eyes? And start adding other colors to her. I'm going to get a slightly bigger brush here to do her dress. I'm going to put her in a dress. We'll wear a fancy spring dress. We'll both get dressed up. Me and my little child self. We'll wear matching dresses. That'll be fun. Okay. So, what color? Let's make my dress a light purple. So I'm going to mix some white. Where's my purple? Is that purple? Purple looks like black on the palette, doesn't it? When it's all dark. So I'm mixing some white and some purple together to get a nice light purple. And I'm just going to start by, let's do a neckline first. There's the neckline. This is a sleeveless dress, I guess. So it's just going to come down and just make the shape of me and then, right, and then do it on the other side. Watch out for that braid. Don't cover up my hair. We're just basically filling in the areas that would be wearing the dress. You see? I'm going to make it a little lighter purple. And just come up from the bottom now. Just fill that in. You see what I'm doing there? Just making her a nice solid dress first. And then we can add to it whatever we want. Maybe it's floral print. Ooh, maybe it's polka dotted. What's your favorite dress look like? Does it have flowers on it? I keep wanting to stick my brush in my coffee. It's a common thing. How's everybody doing? Are you enjoying what you're making there? You know, and if your mind gets to talking to you that you're doing it wrong or something, just focus back on your breathing. Keep your hand moving. You know, you can always paint over the parts that don't please you until it does. We just came to have fun and see what turns out, see what we make. Now, remember my little child self was holding on to Mama's leg. As I'm making this dress part, I covered that feature up a little bit, and that happens sometimes, you know. But we'll go back because I liked that part of it, and make sure that you can tell that the little child has her arm wrapped around Mama's leg there. Look at that. So there's her purple dress coming along. And I'm going to go start to do the same thing and give the little one a purple dress. So starting with her neckline too. And just make a little upside down, you know, half a circle shape there. And then it's a sleeveless dress that just flows down over her. That's easy. Right? Look at that. And it might be lightest at the edges where it kisses the background. So maybe you take a little white and just edge it with some white or darker purple too. You can play around with the tones in the fabric of the dress. Darks and lights. Putting some darker colors here on this one. whatever you want to do. It's your painting. It's your little you. Make him or her, make them as cute as you want them to be. Make their dress as fancy as you want it to be. Not worrying about the feet. I've just indicated feet there sticking out from the bottom of the dress. Look how that's coming along. And I do want to go back now that I have their dresses on, I have their hair on. I want to go back and address the mama's arms and make sure it looks like her hand is just like gently on the child self's head. And get me a clean, small brush here. Take some deep breaths because it's a little tedious, you know. And I'm going to use the flesh tone first. I like to make the shadow part first and then go back with highlights. So I'm just going to indicate her hand here on the child's head and how that would go. And then I'm going to go with the white to add the highlight on top that's really going to bring it out. And I'm going to show you in a second. We can even make it OIC with just white. Now, you see the arm, the hand going over the head. I feel like my arm's a little too wide there. So I'm going to just go over the arm line with the background color yellow. In the same fashion as that sun there behind it. So you can then see the arm a little better, see? And then I'm going to just shape up that other arm too. I'm actually going to also use a little orange yellow to just outline the line of that arm so you can see it better. Because that's an important part to me of the painting is the mom's arm connected to the child. So you want to make sure that it separates from the background. So I'm just making the background yellow, a little more orangish right behind her arm. And again, I'll show you in a second. So that the background separates and you see that arm. It's a little too orange still. I'm going to add some more yellow there, but you see what I mean. So you can always go back and forth between the background and the subject, making sure that they separate, changing the color of your lines. You see? So now that arm really shows. I'm going to think about the position of that other arm, because right now it's just a big swish there. And, you know me, I'm going to be throwing up a peace sign, I'm sure, on that hand. So you imagine this. Look at what that looks like. It's up here. You see? Okay, I got it. So it comes up and it goes 2 fingers. And just basically a lump. Now we'll outline that with the yellow so everybody can see. Here, I'll show you in a second. Basically, like making a little bunny looking thing. Getting hungry. We're going to have to wrap this up. Do what feels good. Listen to your bodies. You know, if you need to stop painting and go do something else, you can come back and finish watching this later. It'll be on my page and on the Facebook group, Creative Companions. There's a peace sign. I just went back and forth between the shadows and highlights. It's looking really cute. Now I wanted to really make sure it looks like that little arm is going around the mama's leg. So I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to trace that. And I'm going to imagine it goes in behind her leg and the hand, the little tiny hand comes around. Let's make sure that's what I get this. Do you see what I did there? And now her arm isn't separated from the background good there, so I'm going to make sure that happens with a little yellow and orange together. Fill in this area. Now you can go back and add detail to their dresses, you know, polka dots, flowers. I'm going to address, now my little person's other hand is cute how it is, just real quick. I don't feel like I need to do anything to that, but I feel like both the people's feet, the mama and the child self's feet, need defined a little more. So when you think about your feet, think about, okay, which position is my foot in? The leg comes down, and the heel. So you make a circle for the heel, and then a line. And I like to just put that line to the big toe. And I will show you. I'm going to make this darker so you can see, because if I just do it with flesh tone, you're not going to be able to see good. Let me show you. Okay, there we go. So it's a circle for the heel, and then like a triangle connected to that for the foot, and then the big toe sticking up. See you, Susan. Have a great day. Happy Mother's Day. I'd love to see your painting if you made one when it's done. Everybody, I'd love to see your painting when it's done. So, mama and child self in the sun, finding what feels good. At this point, you know, you can address those feet and make them look like little feeties. And then, what colors haven't you used yet? And where could you use those colors? Where would you use those colors? Maybe details in the dress, like I said. Maybe you wear glasses and you need to get a really small brush and put those glasses on. You know, you can add as much little detail as you want to. I'm giving everybody feet right now. In my world, everybody's barefoot, so do that. Get some brown here. And you see, I still am letting like some of the brown tone of the cardboard show through, because I like it that way. You do it how you like it, of course. And maybe we add a little, I'll show you what I got so far. A little green around the bottom here. Just a couple stripes going up just indicates some grass, some ground to be standing on. Maybe you put a little here, a little there. The mama's other foot seems to have been covered by some grass in mine, so we can only see one of her little feet. And that's okay. As long as it makes sense. Or not. It can be surreal. It doesn't have to make sense. You don't have to make things the colors that you're supposed to. Let's put some greens. So as you see, putting some greens in there at the bottom, like I said, gives them some ground to stand on. I'm going to go back to my bigger brush and just go ahead with some green to finish off the bottom. So you get some green and white on this big brush. I got way too much water. And I'm going to go up with it from the bottom. Give it some grass. Just indicating the thing. All looking very cute. I'm taking some deep breaths. I suggest you just continue on with the little brushes. That's what I'm going to do. And I will post a picture when I'm done and adding details. You could add flowers in that grass. I just grabbed a tissue because I got that a little too wet and wiped that off. And it's good during your creative process to just take some deep breaths and stand it back where you can see it from like a little further away. Give yourself a different perspective on the day, on your creation. Maybe walk away from it for a while, go and have a snack, take a walk, come back. We're learning not to harshly judge our creative efforts. You know, they're like our little artist child self. I'm getting hungry. I'm going to have to go. We're no longer accepting abuse, not from ourselves and not from others. You know? So denying ourselves time to be creative is like artistic abuse. So we're not doing that anymore. We're showing up and we're doing the thing. Nurturing our child self and playing. So find time to play today. I love you all every day. Peace out. Thanks for being here. That's all I got for you today. I look forward to seeing what you created. I look forward to painting on here more and finishing this later. I'm going to go get a snack now. Okay, I love you. See you next week. Bye.